And I want to thank Governor Healey and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll for your investment in UMass Lowell and in the city of Lowell. The bold steps that you take every day to tackle challenges that we know are important for the long-term future of this Commonwealth, these bold steps are the things that we appreciate and we recognize. I want to thank City Manager Golden. Got to figure out which side of me you guys are on. City Manager Golden and Congresswoman Trahan. Your support and your advocacy for this city, this region, and this university is so much of what has provided the foundation of what we're going to talk about today. That infrastructure money, the R&D, federal R&D money, those are the pieces that lead to a day like today. And finally, I want to thank all of you that are here in the room. So many of you have been a part of that and a part of what we talk about, the pieces coming together to make something like this happen. The folks from the city, from the state, from the university, from our development partners, we're all here today to celebrate the announcement of a project that will transform UMass Lowell and transform the city. And it's a project that we're calling the Lowell Innovation Network Corridor. Lowell Inc. or The Link for short. I know everything gets shorter here. This project would not be possible without the incredible commitment and support today by the Governor Healey and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll and their administration. We're incredibly grateful and very excited for this support and for the project that is going to lead us ahead. Today is a milestone. It's a milestone in the history of this city. It's a milestone because we are setting in motion a vision that will transform not only UMass Lowell, but it will transform this whole region for our students, but also for all of the residents of this region and this great city. Link, it's not just about a couple of buildings, right? It's about creating opportunity. It's about creating opportunity by bringing companies to Lowell, right to the campus and to the city. It's about creating jobs. It's about housing. It's about partnerships. It's helping our students by connecting them to paid career-connected opportunities that now will be seamlessly integrated with their classes and their campus experience. And by connecting them to companies that will come to Lowell, it's about us keeping that critical 25 to 35-year-old population here in the Commonwealth. We're tremendously grateful to our partners from GMH Communities and Wexford Science and Technology for their vision and belief in the future of the city. In GMH and Wexford, UMass Lowell has professional developers that have been willing to invest over $600 million in this project. And that's $600 million in a gateway city. The Lieutenant Governor, as a former mayor of a gateway city, can tell you how important and unusual that is. This is a project that here in Lowell, this kind of investment, in step with the investments of the university, the city, the state, and our federal representatives, will have unsurpassed benefit. It will create 2,000 jobs, almost 500 units of housing, in addition to university student housing. It will be a catalyst for clusters of companies and centers of research innovation in fields from robotics and AI to biotech and climate tech, from cybersecurity and microelectronics to human performance and rehabilitation. I believe we have here some representatives from your administration, Carolyn Kirk from the Mass Tech CEO, and Dr. Emily Reichart, Mass CEC CEO. These are partnerships that we have long developed and will only be expanded in terms of priorities of the state, priorities of the university, and priorities of our nation. Link will boost the economy, create tax benefits for the city, and grow the reputation of Lowell as a city where people want to work, they want to learn, and they want to live. In short, today is tip-off. You know, people. So today is tip-off of a transformative project for our university, our city, and the region. There are many folks in here who have been in the weight room and the practices, all the hard work, long hours, led us to today, right? Game time. So I'd like to acknowledge a few of those folks that have been part of that working group. Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, Ann Maglia, Matt Correa, if you can hold the applause, we'll go through that. Secretary Von Howe, Economic Development, she had another speaking engagement, but has been there in all the working meetings. Undersecretary Ashley Stolber, Undersecretary Heath Healey, Commissioner Adam Bakey, who the state stole from us. No. And of course, my leadership team that has been part of this effort. Provost Joe Hartman, Vice Chancellor Joanne Yastrzemski, Vice Chancellor who just stepped away, retired Steve O'Riordan, but was involved in the back there, right? Vice Chancellor John Feudo, and Vice Chancellor Beck Rollins. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for waving. So. And there's too many in the community name that have been part of this, but I do want to acknowledge President Phil Sisson from Middlesex Community College, the talent that you develop from the community colleges, some that come to us and some that go directly to work, is part of the vision that we have here today. We also have our neighbors from Jeanne d'Arc Credit Union and Renaissance on the River who are right in the East Campus area, so we'll be working very closely with them. And a special thank you to our development team, Wexford, GMH, First Atlantic. Thank you, Chris Collins, for everything you've done in this project. Iron Point Cube 3. There's so many people in this room and outside of that have been part of this effort. But I want to close by saying we're incredibly grateful to Governor Healey and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll for your administration's support and commitment. This would not happen without that, and you can see what an impact this is going to have on this region. So now it is my great pleasure to introduce the president of the UMass system, someone who has had incredible impact on this university, this city, and the nation. And he is one of our greatest exemplars of the value of a UMass Lowell education. President Marty Meehan.
Thank you, Julie. I love when you get into that marketing stuff. And I want you to know I have my pin on here that says UMass Lowell, the #1 public university in Massachusetts. Now, I have to go out to Amherst after this, and I have to take it off. But delighted to be here, delighted to see so many of you here. I want to acknowledge a few people, and this has been a long time coming. Some of the parcels involved in this we acquired in 2010, 2011. Our acquisitions were not always that popular when they happened, but nonetheless, this was a vision that was set out over a long period of time. And I want to acknowledge the chair of the UMass Board of Trustees, Steve Karaman, thank him for all of his support. Mary Burns, the chair of the Building Authority, who's from Lowell, and she's all over this project all the time. Student trustee Alden is here. Thank you very much for your support. The UMass Foundation, represented by Jim Julian, is here. I saw Jim somewhere. He's usually in the back. There he is in the back. I also want to acknowledge Barbara Cronky and the UMass Building Authority. Barbara does a great job with running the Building Authority, and thank you for all of your help. And then Mike Byrne from Newmark. We were about, 2 years ago when we first came up and took a tour of this property. And Newmark is a well-known real estate development company that has helped us on all of our UMass campuses. And the great thing about Mike Byrne, who's right here, is the reason he's so insightful on this project is because his father was on the faculty here at UMass Lowell for a number of years. I have said that this is the most important project to Lowell in the last 20 years. It may go further than that. Anytime you can create the synergy that takes a world-class research university and meshes it in with business and industry, great things are going to happen. And that's what this project is all about. I want to say a word about Julie because I've interacted with a lot of academics over the course of the 17 years I've been in higher education. And I don't know any leader that fundamentally understands the connection between being a world-class public research university and that ability to work with business and industry. And I've seen that over a period of years. We get a lot of attention when I was the chancellor here because Raytheon Company, located over in the Emerging Technologies building, they committed $5 million and they're still working with us. Julie Chen was the architect of that. She is constantly interacting with business and industry, and she gets it. I had the opportunity to work with her when I was in the Congress, and we with Congresswoman Tsongas and now Congresswoman Trahan, we're very, very active at getting research dollars here. And this is kind of the culmination of all of that. So this is a project that will create, as Julie said, 2,000 permanent jobs here over the next decade, 1,300 construction jobs during the construction phase of this, and 500 units. And this is basically a private sector-driven initiative. But rest assured, we wouldn't be here today but for the commitment that the governor has committed here, Governor Healey, and the lieutenant governor. They are making this happen. Without the state being a partner, we could not do this project on our own. And in terms of the companies we're going to attract, I have to just have a warm feeling about the K-12 system in Lowell that develops students that come, some of them to the community college. And I'm not in any other part of the state. I would tell you, we have the best community college in the state right here, and it's in downtown Lowell, and it's just awesome. And now the university. So this is a great day. We have a lot of work to do. But I really want to thank the governor. And my job now is to introduce the governor. I will say that we have one of the nation's best governors right here in Massachusetts. And it's been awesome to watch her. And she's very, very competitive, as was mentioned. But to watch her major tax cut for Massachusetts. I think it was the first tax cut in 20 years. But sometimes tax cuts go to those of the highest income level rather than the people, the middle class and the lower middle class, and the people who are struggling with families. Not their tax cut. Everyone got to the benefits of that tax cut. Last year they did the most significant infusion of state money for need-based financial aid for all sectors, the community colleges, the state universities, and UMass, so that if a person needs financial aid to come to UMass or any of the sectors, they're going to get that aid, and I thank the governor for that. She's been a big supporter of early college. A lot of you know what early college is. It's an opportunity for high school students, particularly in gateway cities like Lowell and Lawrence and Haverhill, get an opportunity to get college credit. What does that do? It means those folks, many of them first generation, will get an opportunity to go to realize they can do work in college-level work, save thousands of dollars, and it's happening in Lowell and throughout the state, and I thank the governor for that. We are very, very fortunate to have the Healey-Driscoll administration. I want to thank everyone in the administration. We've been working on this since they arrived. But most importantly, Governor, thanks so much for your support. Please welcome Governor Maura Healey.
Good morning, and thank you so much, President Meehan, for being a great champion, not only of UMass Lowell and the entire UMass system, and he is going to need to change his tie, too, before he heads west. Love the Riverhawks. But for our state. And I really, on behalf of the LG and myself, just really appreciate your partnership and always being there, along with so many of the folks that you listed and acknowledged just a few moments ago. And to see Chancellor Chen. We were up here months ago in the arena for the fantastic swearing in, investiture, inauguration. You call it something different in academic circles, but it's very cool. And we had that robotic dog too. I remember that.
I didn't bring the dog today.
No dog today. But it's just to say, everything that President Meehan said about you is just so true. And you are a superstar leader, team player who knows how to execute, bring people together, and get things done. I also want to acknowledge other important teammates in this endeavor. Of course, your fabulous city manager, Tommy Golden, for all the great things that you were doing here in the great city of Lowell, and our colleagues in the legislature, Representatives Mom and Elliott and Howard, Senator Kennedy. Thank you very much for all that you bring. And of course, we're going to make some exciting announcements today about what's happening here, and I just want to acknowledge and personally thank our CEO, Jerry Wolitz from Draper. It's a super exciting thing that is happening here, and we are so psyched that Draper is taking this shot and placing a stake in the ground here in Lowell. It's going to pay off for you. Now, to have such a unique company and institute, not just nationally, but globally, to set up shop right here is so terrific. It's so compelling, and it's going to help us show the way to other companies out there about what is possible. I also want to thank members of our team. I'm going to begin with the Lieutenant Governor, who is an incredible person to be able to work with day in and day out. And I was asking her as we were walking in when these conversations started. I couldn't quite remember. But I want to give full credit and acknowledgement to Kim Driscoll, who understood not only the possibility, but the transformative power of this kind of dynamic, public-private partnership, and was able to work to get our team, and huge credit to Undersecretary Ashley Stolba. Thank you for your work. To Undersecretary Heath, thank you so much for your work. Secretary Howe, I know, has been a long champion of this particular project and has to be elsewhere in the state today. But the ability to make sure that we had our team together, present at the table, with open minds and an innovative spirit about how we do things. Lowell has always been about entrepreneurship. I'm looking out at the river and I'm just thinking about, centuries of innovation, right? This is another example of it. And I think as an administration, as a team, that's what we bring to this. Entrepreneurship, innovation, and certainly, yes, a huge competitive spirit. The LG and I are very, very competitive. And I thank her for quarterbacking this deal on behalf of our team. But this is exactly what we're talking about. I'm not going to go into the details about the $3.7 billion in economic activity that this is going to generate, or the 1,300 jobs in construction, or the 2,000 permanent jobs, or the housing. It's the whole package. It's the whole package. And when we started, we said that Massachusetts, we're going to make you more competitive, more affordable, and more equitable. This is the example of what's possible. I am so pumped to be able to look out across this room today and know that what we've been talking about isn't just theory, isn't just idea. It can be actually operationalized and implemented. And I am so proud to stand with the great people of Lowell and the Merrimack Valley region, with our private partners and our public partners, to see this come to fruition. So know that as governor, the LG and I will continue to draw upon this link as an example, a marquee example of what is possible in this state. And we're going to continue forward from today to push other projects and other initiatives. And by the way, initiatives that also include housing. If there's one thing I want to lift up in this, is that housing is incorporated into this. I don't want to see kids in their 20s, or students or grad students, or young entrepreneurs or founders go elsewhere simply because they can't afford to live here, or employees can't afford to live here. This project takes care of that. That's the key. That's the key to our success. So we're going to continue to work on housing and growing housing production in the state, but I just appreciate and want to acknowledge that Link takes care to make sure that is baked in the first instance. I also want to note that Draper, of course, is going to be housing its microelectronics division. This is a space we've come into this year and done really, really well. And as you know, we were recently awarded the nation's microelectronics hub grant. Really, really significant. Massachusetts went out. I said we were going to compete. We brought back $3 billion to Massachusetts just this year alone. And you look at ARPA-H, you look at the Microelectronics Commons Hub, you look at so many more things that have come our way. And that is an example of a sector that is growing, that is key to our future. And it's going to happen here. That's a big deal. Which leads me to our next speaker. We said we put together the applications, we put together the team to make the play, whether it was for bridges or whether it was for infrastructure projects or whether it was for grants that are going to help fuel our companies and our state forward. And we could not have a better partner or champion than Congresswoman Lori Trahan. And I am just so grateful for the work that you have done on our behalf. It's also wonderful to see Congresswoman Song is here today. It's so important to have somebody out there working so hard on our behalf. A little later, we're going to go up. On to Bill Ricca and celebrate really cool grant that Congresswoman Trahan was able to secure for us, and a great company in climate tech, in hydrogen. Just an example. I don't know, of all the recent awards, I think you kind of swept. You got 90% of the awards coming to this district. She did. She did. So whether it's in energy or whether it's in microelectronics or whether it's in research or science, more broadly speaking, Congresswoman Trahan is always there fighting for us and, importantly, delivering. So I want to bring forward our terrific Congresswoman, Lori Trahan.
Look at us. Good morning. Well, thank you, Governor. This certainly makes up for the fact that we all never got to play basketball together. But we get to compete together. And if there's anything that's been so terrific about this administration is watching them compete for every federal program, for every grant dollar, for every company to come and grow here in this state. And let me tell you, they win. We win, and Lowell is winning today. We wouldn't be here today without the incredible commitment of the governor, the lieutenant governor, the incredible administration who has been on the ground with us, finding a way to make this project a reality. So grateful for everybody who's here this morning. Certainly everyone standing behind me has had such an unbelievable role to play here. Our State Senator Ed Kennedy, our reps, Mom Elliott and Howard, and it's not lost on me a single moment that I do this job of the incredible shoulders I stand on with former Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas. So great to have you all. It's no secret that for decades, Lowell has been home to some untapped potential, a community that's uniquely positioned and full of promise. And it wasn't a secret because we've never missed an opportunity to tell folks we know what's possible with the right investment at the right moment. And thanks to the tremendous leaders here, that moment has arrived. Alongside the Healey-Driscoll administration, the City of Lowell, UMass Lowell, our industry partners, we've secured unprecedented investments that will position the Mill City for a multi-billion-dollar economic and jobs boom, the likes of which hasn't happened here since the Industrial Revolution 2 centuries ago. As you've heard already from Chancellor Chen, President Meehan, Governor Healey, much of what will be anchored in the Lowell Innovation Network Corridor, LINK, it's rolling off the tongue, which will welcome cutting-edge businesses like Draper, a nonprofit company that spun off from MIT iLab and has spearheaded breakthrough after breakthrough, from operating the guidance computer that helped land Apollo 11 on the moon, to their industry-leading work on microelectronics. And that's just the start for LINK. It also will become home to leading R&D initiatives and strengthen our community with hundreds of new housing units. This is a tremendous opportunity. It's underscored by the projection of $3.7 billion in economic activity generated and 2,000 permanent jobs created over the next decade. Good paying, family-sustaining jobs available to folks here in Lowell and across our region at every level. Entry to engineer, graduate to corporate executive. This is what's possible when there's a strong partnership across every level of government, federal, state, and local, and with our partners in the private and educational sectors. A real opportunity to take the revitalization that's been happening largely organically right here in Lowell already and accelerate it so that it's not only the next generation that benefits, but it's people who are sitting in the room right here, right now. I'm so proud to stand here with all of you here today to celebrate that achievement. I'm proud that I could bring the federal government to the table, and I will keep them at the table to support this important initiative with serious funding. Proud that together we're committed to finishing the work and making Lowell an even better place to live, to work, to learn, and to raise a family. I look forward to the work ahead with the governor, the lieutenant governor, the city, and the university, and of course, with industry leaders like Draper President and CEO Jerry Wolitz, who has spent his career fostering the conditions necessary for R&D companies to thrive. Jerry and the team at Draper were instrumental in making this tremendous initiative possible. They recognize what Lowell has to offer and what the link can deliver for our community and for our state. It's my pleasure to introduce Draper President and CEO Jerry Wolitz.
Well, thank you, Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll. Nice to meet you, Mr. Meehan. Very flattering introduction, Congressman Tran. I wasn't quite expecting that. Chancellor Julie Chen, absolutely amazing, and City Manager Tom Golden. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today. I'd like to also thank all the other distinguished guests that are here today. Would like to call out the Draper team that made this happen behind the scenes. Julie Santos, Tony Corpinas, Bob Durkin, Mary Kim, Nancy Lightbody, Sarah Leeper, John Cash. Thank you all. And thank you to the many people that made this event. As you can see, it's a pretty large event. It happened very quickly, and it happened very quickly behind the scenes. So thank you for all your work. As mentioned, the Charles Stark Draper Laboratory is a nonprofit innovation company that pursues scientific advancements to solve the nation's toughest national security problems for the betterment of the nation and to defend democracy around the globe. Draper is certainly, as noted, best known for our leadership in the Apollo program, and I was very impressed to hear what is probably least well known is the inventor of the modern day computer today, which required advances in microelectronics, which brings us here today. And as Chancellor Chen loves to hear the story, is that when Neil Armstrong came back from Apollo 11, he was like, why don't I have this advanced computer and guidance system in every single aircraft? And he started the program at NASA that led to why aviation is the safest form of transportation today. And that technology is what's going into your car. That technology is also what's in your cell phone. For 90 years, Draper has been solving these real-world problems for the betterment of the nation with advanced technologies. Our legacy is strong. Our future is bright. At the core of these great technology achievements has been a partnership between government, academia, and industry, united in solving these tough problems while committed to educating the next generation of engineers and scientists. Due to the increased customer pull that we are experiencing today, for which Draper has not done in 40 years, we must double our staff from 2,400 in the coming years, which brings us to exactly why we're here at the University of Lowell today. Supporting the growth, we're expanding the relationship with UMass Lowell, the City of Lowell, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Draper's core markets are electronics, biology, space, and strategic systems, which are well mapped to Governor Healey's directive for growth in microelectronics and the life sciences, as well as our space and strategic systems that are aligned to Congresswoman Trahan's and Congressman Moulton's initiatives in space and national security sectors that include the advocacy from both Senator Warren and Senator Markey. Draper views UMass Lowell Microelectronics program as one of the top programs in the region, and we see an opportunity to replicate this winning model of this relationship between government, academia, and industry that has served our 90 years so well. Through this partnership, we see an opportunity to expand the defense industrial base, to support the Microelectronics Coalition Hub through the Federal CHIPS and Science Act, with specific focus on designing and delivering specialized, secure, and environmentally resilient microelectronics to protect national security assets and support onshore industrial basing. We view UMass Lowell as a strategic partner and a resource for state and federal engagement, an opportunity for facility and capability development, and a pipeline of engineering talent. We are excited on our strategic partnership with UMass Lowell, the City of Lowell, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and thank you all for hosting us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. We're very proud to have you here in Lowell and look forward to supporting that further expansion. So it's my great pleasure. As you know, we've talked a lot about the partnerships here today, and one key partnership that we've always talked about is the partnership between the university and the city. So it is my great pleasure to introduce City Manager Tom Golden.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate you being here, and since everything's already been said, I'm just going to go to my notes. So everyone standing up here might as well sit down. I'm going to go off script for 25 minutes, but seriously and honestly, I just want to say thank you very much. On behalf of Mayor Rourke, I know that the Vice Mayor Paul Yem is here, Councilor Eric Gitch here, Councilor Leahy, and Councilor Noon. This is the opportunity that I have because, quite honestly, the council gives me this opportunity. Today is an exciting day. Our DPD staff, by the Assistant City Manager, Yvonne Rose Baez, she's done a fabulous job. After this announcement, you would think that the work starts tomorrow, and that's not true. It's already started. We've already met. We've already had discussions to find out what can happen next, what needs to happen. The concierge model that the City of Lowell is using is to make sure that developers understand that we are here for them, not the other way around. I think that, Jerry, you could have chosen any place. Many states, cities, and towns would want you here. And we thank you for choosing the City of Lowell, because you could have gone anywhere. We talked about it earlier, and I've been speaking a lot with the Lieutenant Governor as well as Jay Ash. Lieutenant Governor, of course, over in Salem, Mayor for a number of years. Jay Ash, what is it? You've been city manager, you've been secretary and everything else, and they were pushing back about how it took them decades to get this type of investment into their communities. But it happened here because of teamwork, because everybody came together to make sure this happened. That's an exciting time. It truly is when you start to think about this. The naysayers, people that are always pushing back, are seeing something today that is going to transform not just the City of Lowell, but the greater Lowell area. I happened to have an opportunity to be with some town managers earlier this morning, and we talked about this. We talked about how the greater Lowell area, K through 12, has first-class education. Now, as a city manager, I should only say the City of Lowell, but I can't, because this is something that is explosive. This is something that is not just going to move the City of Lowell, but it's going to move the entire greater Lowell area, and I will argue the Merrimack Valley. We have a great K through 12 system, and when you're done, senior year in high school, you're going to work, or you're going to Middlesex Community College. First class institution. After MCC, you're going to come to UMass Lowell. And when that is completely wrapped up, you're going to have an opportunity to have a job at a first-class organization like Draper. That's what we're doing here today. We are flipping the script. We are ensuring that young, I say young, boy, I was young once, Marty, we were both young. But we want to make sure that our young adults have an option and have a place to stay. I'm tired of hearing people moving out. That's why the city is committed to work with the university. The council is committed to continue opportunities for affordable home ownership. Exactly what the governor and the lieutenant governor have been talking about. We have a number of programs going on that are going to go hand in glove with what Chancellor Chen and President Meehan are doing. But just to go back for one moment, people will think that this just started happening about a year ago. As the president and I were talking earlier, it was about 18 to 20 years ago when we started talking about the Lawrence Reuse Subcommittee. And a gentleman by the name of Steve Pangiotakis, who was a former senator, was there. And a congresswoman by Nikki Tsongas was there. And when we really start to think about it, that was the foundation that was poured for what happened today. It was a vision that then Chancellor Meehan had of this day would come. And when we were collecting all of that land, it was a little bit of a challenge, but it was exciting. It was exciting that someday this particular area is going to flourish. And that day is here. And that day is here because, honest and truly, the hard work of so many people. But when you really have an opportunity to work with a true superstar, somebody that is awe-inspiring, somebody that's work ethic is just second to none, and somebody that is dedicated to the city of Lowell, like our chancellor, there's nothing else to say. I will tell you this, do not go on a trip with her. Congresswoman Trahan set up a meeting for myself and the chancellor. Planes, trains, and automobiles comes to mind. Yes, we went to D.C. and just a short 14-hour trip, and she was still ready to go. But down there talking about transportation, bridges, roadways, how we can get in and out of this area. But the chancellor and the president spoke to this. We don't want people coming in and out of the area. That's why 500 units are being created around this. And the city council is in the process of creating hundreds more that are affordable home ownership opportunities, affordable rentals, things that are going to continue to grow our community. And it's happening because of the assistance and the help of this administration. The Healey-Driscoll administration, all you need to do is call. You call, they answer the phone, and they figure a way out how to help. But today, I want to extend the same courtesy to the president and CEO of Draper. When I had heard, Julia told me about a month ago now, 6 weeks ago, that there were 4 or 5 people from Draper coming to check it out. Then I found out there were 24 people. It was heart-stopping, knowing that this organization, this first-class organization, could go anywhere, but stopped everything they were doing by bringing their top leadership team, not 2, 3, 4, 5 people that we had anticipated, 20-plus people came to find out what UMass Lowell had to offer, what the city of Lowell had to offer. I just want to say to you, Jerry, that as the governor and the lieutenant governor and everyone else has always done for me, I am a phone call away. If there's anything that the city of Lowell needs to do, all you need to do is pick up the phone, and we will make sure that we deliver on this promise. Because the team that is next to you, the team that is behind me, we are used to delivering results. This isn't new to us. We will make it happen, and we want to thank you very, very much, sir, for choosing the city of Lowell and UMass Lowell.
Great. Well, look, really pumped about this, and Lowell deserves this, and people have worked years and years to see this very thing happen. So congratulations to all who have worked on this over the years. It's a really wonderful thing, not just for Lowell, not just for the region, not just for the state, but for the country. Because when you match the innovation that this area has always had, what is in our DNA as a state, with the likes of a Draper, by the way, just a little bit west, Worcester, invented the first rocket propulsion, right? We're a state that has this is what we are. This is who we are. And this is a project and an effort right here in Lowell that's delivering on everything that is great about our state and our potential. And I'm just so grateful to be able to stand here alongside the LG and say thank you. Thank you for landing this plane and bringing this home. It's a great thing. And we're happy to take questions relevant to this subject. The Chancellor's going to take questions relative to all other subjects. She's that good. Any questions?
Well, I have just one quick question, Governor. Welcome to Lowell. And I noticed you have offices in Cambridge, too. Is this an expansion of your footprint in Massachusetts, or are you moving people out of Cambridge?
This is an expansion.
Oh, okay, so this is a big push.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for picking Lowell.
And we are also in Pittsfield.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, okay.
Yep. That's why it's a big deal. We're not going to lose anyone or anybody. We're about growth and expansion. I appreciate Draper's footprint statewide. Really grateful, and certainly grateful to see it here.
Just as a quick follow, you probably mentioned it, but just to capture it one more time, how many people are you thinking about moving in?
We're still working through the details, but we know that we have to double our staff. We're currently 2,400. And we've got to make decisions on exactly, we have campuses across the United States, but it's talent driven. And again, the secret recipe's always been the university partner, right? With the government, that's the magic recipe.
So when's the groundbreaking?
So maybe I think one of the things that we have discovered, and Ann Maglia and Matt Correa and that team, as they talk to companies like Draper, they're all excited about being here. Anybody here knows it takes a couple years to build a building, and so we want to anchor these companies in Lowell and with the university as soon as possible. So we have what's called a phase 0 in Wanalancet Mills, where about 90,000 square feet will serve as temporary or short-term or home until the building is built. So we anticipate groundbreaking next year. And a couple years for that building to be built. But you will see companies moving in over this summer and this fall.
Just really quickly, I neglected to mention Council Dakota. So that's one of my bosses, I want to make sure I point that out. And just to be clear, he's only been here 3 months, and look at what he's delivering. Thank you.
Great. Anything else?
Casey Crane, I just want to follow up on Mel's question. What type of jobs are you expecting to come? Are they high-paying jobs? Are they engineering jobs? I mean, out of that 2,400 some odd jobs, do you have any ideas?
Yeah, so we're,
We're sorry.
yeah, so for the type of job, so Draper employs very high-end engineering and scientists. We also have a technician force because Draper does both scientific development and the production of it. So we would expect a mixture from all the way from the high-end engineering scientist to the technician.
And those will be coming in the next year?
So there's a series of phases. So I think the initial footprint that we have right now is how many heads? 50 heads. We're looking at an intermediate solution before the bigger facility is built. So it's a phased approach right now that we're looking at. So ballpark 3 phases.
Real quick, one other thing. Chancellor, any changes to the curriculum in anticipation of this new growth sector?
So our curriculum is always dynamic, right? I mean, we're not teaching the same thing we taught 10 or even 20 years ago. And so one of the things that we value in our partnerships with industry is to understand where the need is, right? Where the needs are, working with companies. We have some great adjunct faculty that often come from companies to teach some of the classes. And Provost Hartman leads sort of our effort of continuously evolving our curriculum to make sure our students are prepared and they can continue to learn, right? Because things are going to change once they graduate. They need to be able to continue to learn. And so that is part of what we envision as a additional benefit of these partnerships. I think that's a question. Do you take high school students?
That would be a yes.
I think you already heard the answer to that. So, core to our nonprofit status is our educational mission. And I didn't spend much time on this, but we currently invest in the STEM programs at the high school level. We do have high school interns. We have an internship and co-op for undergraduate, and then we also fund, it's called the Draper Scholar Program, and if you rewind the clock, it was called the Draper Fellow Program, where we fund both master's and PhD students. So it's actually a pretty high percentage of our workforce is the student population. And as we talked to Chancellor Chen, is that we in fact are accustomed to not only being advisors for the work, but Draper staff actually teaches courses at different universities. And that's a model, again, that has been very successful. If you go back to the legacy of our roots at MIT, at one point, Draper personnel taught about 20% of the courses in the Aero-Astro department at MIT. And so that is a model that, we believe it's a winning model, and that's a model that we want to replicate going forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.